We are creeping towards the finish line of the regular season, but there is still much to be played for your Saugerties Stallions. With a Jamestown Mercy who lost just minutes ago, the Stallions find themselves just 2 games away from clinching the 2nd overall seed in the PGCBL playoffs, and in doing so, a first-round bye and a home game in the semifinals. And tonight, they make the trip up to Glens, New York, to take on the Dragons, losers of 17 straight. The Stallions hoping to keep that streak rolling as they enter East Fields. We have all the action for you right here, Stallions Broadcast Network. John Gross alongside Michael Gross, thrilled to have all of you with us. Michael, the situation is pretty clear for Saugerties. With this Jamestown loss, they just have to win 2, and they get that coveted 2nd seed.
2 is the magic number. They already have a bye in the postseason, and if they want to get that 2 seed, they got to win 2. And it starts here tonight after a statement win last night against Amsterdam.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that Amsterdam game. I mean, I would say, just given the timing of the game, the implications, the way they played, probably the best win of the season for the Stallions.
Well, after falling to Amsterdam just 3 nights ago now, and then Albany 2 nights ago, after what a great comeback that was, and then they lost it with that 3-run home run. Getting that win last night has to be good for the morale of this team going into the playoffs and getting that last win of the regular season against Amsterdam.
David Shackelford leads off taking a called strike 1. We'll give you the Stallions order momentarily. It's Joe Rendy, the starting pitcher, a late change for Glens Falls. He's making his 2nd start of the season, 8th overall appearance. 3rd outing against Saugerties as the Rendy floats in another curveball, and Shackelford's behind 0-2.
Rendy, 7 games, a 7.46 ERA, 15 2/3 pitched, 8 Ks, 11 walks, and 19 hits in those 15 2/3 innings.
0-2 righty. Fastball misses away, 1-2.
You mentioned it's his 3rd start, or his 3rd game at least pitched against Saugerties. Pitched on the 12th at Cantine, 1 1/3, 3 runs, 3 hits.
As the 1-2 is fouled back.
And also pitched on the 29th of June. 3 innings, 3 runs, none of them earned, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So he's found a little bit of success, some ups and some downs, but it's a new day. They're going to look to snap a 17-game win streak under the reign of Joe Rendy.
Losing streak. 17 losing streak.
There
you go. No, oh, good. It's been a long season for all of us, and well, for Glens Falls, some struggle as of late. This is a team that out of the gate played some really good baseball, and even during this losing streak, they've had some really competitive games. As the 2-2 curve is sat on and lined off to short, and a backhand snag made by James Murphy for the first out. Brings up Noah Berghammer. Stallions batting order as follows. David Shackelford led off. He's in center. Noah Berghammer up now, plays first base. We'll talk more about that in a second. Josh Stevenson hits 3rd, the DH. The cleanup batter, Cade Verduzco, in right. Jack Renwick hits 5th at 2nd. Colin Mackel 6th, the EH. Nick Iverson 7th at 3rd. The 8th spot, Jared Brown at shortstop. The 9-hitter, Caden Kendall in left. And Jacob Marquez hits 10th and catches. So Berghammer steps in with 1 away, and he watches a curveball settle in for a strike. Was 0 for 4 last night against Amsterdam. We don't have the updated season stats because Amsterdam has not inputted last night's game, but he had been hitting .345 entering it last night. 0-1. He's again fanned on at a curveball. He's now behind 0-2. And Michael, it is Noah Berghammer's first ever baseball game playing first base.
That's incredible to believe that, considering how many years he's been in the game. And normally in Little League, you try and play everywhere on the field. And well, like you said, it's his first start ever at first base, so it should be fun to watch.
0-2 from Rendy after back-to-back curves. Berghammer puts this on a roll to 2nd, slowly to the glove of McDaniel. His throw to 1st is in time, and 2 outs. And something to monitor throughout the game. And I questioned him on that. I said, not even during Little League, you never played first base? He said, no, he's never played first base before. Asked him if got any advice from Kip Futures and Tyler Kelder, and Tyler kind of jokingly said, just catch the baseball, just see the ball. Brings up Josh Stevenson, who after a quick 2 outs in the infields.
By the way, first pitch 7:04. Weather at first pitch 80 degrees.
Chopper up the middle. A backhand stop by the second baseman McDaniel. Throwing the run, not in time. And the first hit of the game is courtesy of Josh Stevenson after going hitless last night, which snapped a 6-game hitting streak. He has an infield hit.
Number 22, Cade Verduzco.
Scoreless, top of the first, Cade Verduzco now to the plate. Joe Rendy, a guy who's not going to throw very hard. A really good curveball that has tremendous movement, but looks like it's low 70s, high 60s. He's from where we are. And Stevenson takes off. Fastball away, no throw down. And it's a Benson steal. The Stallions stolen base sponsor. They put stuff up you can't knock down.
We talked with assistant coach and third base coach Adam Cray Sundays with the Stallions, and he mentioned the aggressiveness on the base paths.
Verduzco hits it on the ground into right field. A slow roller will head off to Durkin. Stevenson's going to trot home. He'll score. And an RBI single by Kane Verduzco puts the Stallions up 1-0. Just the second RBI of the season for Verduzco.
And previously scored 11 runs, now 12 after last night. He only had 1 RBI, and now he drove him in, but that is thanks to, in part, of the aggressiveness on the base path. Stevenson stole second, and that set up Verduzco to hit that slap single down the line and drive him in.
Brings up Jack Renwick, who had quite the night last night as Verduzco takes off. A curveball is in there for a strike, and a successful stolen base once again. Another Benson steal. They put stuff up you can't knock down.
Got a feeling you'll be saying that a lot tonight.
I'm with you, Michael. Rendy, not much of a pickoff move back to first, and a slow delivery as he now looks back to Verduzco on second. 0-1 offering with 2 outs. Pop back foul. Renwick now behind 0-2. Jack was 2 for 4 last night. A solo home run, his first of the season. Also had a single. You look back to June 20th, had one of the best offensive games for any Stallions this year. 4 for 5, 2 triples, 5 RBI in that game.
Was that here?
That was here.
That was here.
That was here.
Has found success here, and he's found success of late.
0-2 curveball on the ground to short. It is coughed up by Murphy. He can't field it. Now a throw to the plate, not in time, and it gets away from the catcher Winslow. Off to second is Renwick. The run scored. It's 2-0 Saugerties with 2 outs, a couple runs coming, and Glens falls. A couple of misplays. The shortstop James Murphy having a tough time fielding that grounder.
I think, John, there's 2 errors on that play. There's a fielding error that allowed Renwick to get to first, and then there's the throwing error, which actually allowed him to get to second. I believe the run would have scored anyway, but now Renwick is on second.
Colin Mackel trying to keep the hitting success going. Lined away foul. Now behind 0-1, and it's interesting to see Rendy out there. In the initial lineup card, it was supposed to be Brenton Disnell, who actually came from Amsterdam to play for Glens Falls for the remainder of the summer, but a late change as the 0-1 curve misses outside. 2-0 Stallions, top of the first. A 1-1 count with 2 outs. A runner on second is Jack Renwick. The Stallions need 2 wins over these last 4 games to clinch a first-round bye and that 2 seed in the playoffs. Fouled away third base side by Mackel, 1-2.
They need those 2 wins, and this is where it starts, the first inning. Being aggressive on the base paths and hitting the ball at all sides of the field, all parts of the field, and driving those runs home early. Set the tempo and set the tone. And with 2 runs in the first inning and maybe more, this is the way they want to do it.
1-2 misses outside. 2-2 with 2 outs. The Stallions' final season is as follows. Tonight, Glens Falls. Tomorrow at Oneonta. Then back at Glens Falls. And then an off day, followed by the regular season finale at home against the Outlaws of Oneonta. 2-2 count, 2 outs, hit into right field, another base knock. Renwick, the speedy Renwick around third. He will score a 3rd run coming across for Saugerties with 2 outs in the top of the first on an RBI single by Colin Mackel.
Time in and time out, we have seen Colin Mackel get so much better, and that's why he's moved up in the pecking order, in the batting order, from down in that 9-10 area, now up to 6, and he's, even though his average doesn't show it, he's had some timely hits for the Stallions.
3-0 Saugerties. Nick Iverson now to the plate as Rendy steps off to look back to Mackel at first. The Stallions have taken off on the first pitch with every single base runner has been on base, and now Rendy wisely throws back to first, not in time.
By the way, it's now Mackel's 17th RBI of the year.
First pitch on the ground to short. It is fielded on the knees by Murphy. His throw to second in time. But the Stallions do score 3, all 3 coming with 2 outs, 3 runs on 4 hits. Nobody left on base. We enter the bottom of the first. 3-0 Saugerties and the Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first, the Stallions lead 3-0 over the Glens Falls Dragons, and Tommy Gross heads to the mound. It's the second appearance, second start of the season for the righty.
Yeah, one game so far, 3 1/3 innings pitched. Then he did get the win. He only gave up 1 hit, but there were 3 runs scored, all of them earned due to 5 walks. I guess one good thing is that he had 3 strikeouts, but he's going to have to limit those walks against the Glens Falls team today. I mean, walks are never a good thing, especially 5 of them in just 3 1/3. So if he can limit those, he'll be in for a good start today.
And to our knowledge, Tommy, or I should say, we are not related to Tommy.
Yes,
To our knowledge.
To our knowledge, at least. We have yet to do the Ancestry.com or the, what is it, 23andMe.
First pitch off the back of Corey Listing, so he's going to head off to first. Hit by pitch brought to you by Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Attorneys. If you've been hit, call Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Lawyers. And we would be remiss if we did not mention that the best bat boy in all of baseball has made his way to Glens Falls. He traveled on the team bus today. Chase Pickles, you'll be seeing him quite a bit on the broadcast. He is second to none, Michael.
Absolutely incredible. I found out just minutes before, while we were on the bus, that Pickles was going to be coming with us, traveling with us all the way to Glens Falls, accompanied by his father. Such a great sight to see him with this team on the road for, I think, the first time this season.
Yeah, it is. First time traveling with the team. First pitch misses high and outside to Quinn McDaniel. Was 1 for 4 last night in the 5-4 loss against Oneonta. A .228 hitter on the season. Listing leads off at first. 3-0 Stallions, bottom 1. Gross kicks and deals. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Tonight's umpires, Mike Mooney behind the plate and John Stewart in the field. I don't think it's that John Stewart, though. Just like Glens Falls is a guy named John Collins.
Not the same John.
Not that John Collins, though. 1-1, popped high, deep, and foul, right field line. And Gross ahead, 1-2.
I do have to mention, there are certainly more fans in attendance here tonight at East Field than there have been for any game that we have seen here this year. I think someone said there was a birthday party. Happy birthday to whoever it is. But even then, I'm sure not all of these people are here for the birthday party. They just want to come and watch baseball on a gorgeous evening.
1-2 from Gross, breaking ball upstairs, 2-2. Hey, don't underestimate. There are some popular people up here. You never know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have 1,000 friends, but maybe somebody invited their whole Facebook list. It's a great crowd tonight.
The Instagram following, the Twitter following, all of the above.
Here's the 2-2 from Gross as runner takes off. Throw down for Marquez is into center field, and Listing will stay at second. It was a ball high and outside, and the count's now full.
So Glens Falls returning the favor with the stolen bases and the aggressiveness on the base paths.
Gross is going to grab the rosin. 3-0 Stallions, bottom of the first. Saugerties needs to win 2 more games. They can forget about what Jamestown does. They need to win 2 of the last 4 games to clinch a first-round bye and that coveted second seed. Gross looks back at second, now focuses on McDaniel at the plate. The 3-2 just outside. And back-to-back base runners reaching via free 90s from Tommy Gross, which you look back to that Albany game, that was the issue. 5 walks against the Dutchman.
Yeah, he's got to limit those. If we said it before, we're going to keep saying it. He has to limit the free 90s, whether it comes in the hit by pitch or the walk. If you give up the base hits, that's one thing. But if you let him go on 4 balls, that's a whole nother story.
James Murphy hits .254 in the season, entered today at a 3-game hitting streak, has recorded a hit in 6 of the last 7 games he's played in. First pitch misses down and inside, and it's huge for Gross to give the Stallions some solid innings, because this is a fairly thin pitching staff now, just about 10 or 11 guys left on the roster.
And we've lost, 7 or 8 of them over the course of the season. A lot of them great pitchers, but we still have some very good arms on the team. But like you said, thin pitching staff going into the playoffs, not exactly what I guess head coach Rich Doobie was hoping for, but that's what you got, and it's what you have to play with, and all these guys are going to have to stretch out some innings here and there.
A 2-0 count. Gross stares down, Listing on second. Now deals home. Curveball over his head. Ball 3.
I'm Gross. I'm going to take off as much as I can on this pitch. Just get it over. Just get it over.
10 pitches for Tommy Gross, just 2 strikes thus far. Behind 3-0, a walk would load the bases. The first base side of the mound, looking for that first strike, and he won't find it. Misses down, and he has walked the last 2 batters after hitting Listing, and Rich Doobie quickly makes his way into the dugout.
I think it's a smart call, too. Just calm him down. Hasn't pitched in a good few days. It's a big crowd here in Glens Falls, and, well, I mean, it happens to a lot of pitchers. It's those jitters. Maybe you don't have them in the first game, but once you get a little comfortable, sometimes it can hit you like a bus. And the zone can get smaller and smaller throughout your time on the mound.
Yeah, he was visibly frustrated with himself, covering his mouth with his glove. And now Rich Doobie is going to head back to the dugout. Tommy Gross chatting with his battery mate Jacob Marquez. You have a 3-0 lead. You haven't given up any hits, as you're saying, Michael. Just throw strikes. 9 balls and 2 strikes so far for the righty. Joe Kersey, the cleanup batter tonight, hitting .265, coming off of a 3-for-4 game last night. A monster performance for Kersey. First pitch misses inside at a fastball. 1-0, and Gross can throw hard. There is quite a pop out of the glove of Marquez. We saw it against Albany too, probably in the low 90s. Comes through the windup on the 1-0. There's the strike, right over the heart of the plate. 1-1.
If I'm Tommy Gross too, I'm going to go take a look at Corey Listing out on third base. He is dancing all the way down the line. I mean, he must have been 20 feet or so from the bag by the time the ball leaves Gross's hands.
1-1 is smacked foul down the first base side bleachers and nearly hit a fan, but I think everyone's okay. So Gross after the mound, visit ahead 1-2. The base is loaded for Glens Falls. 3-0 Stallions, no outs, bottom of the first, and the 1-2 tails away. 2-2.
Joe Kersey leads the team in strikeouts with 25. I believe he's tied with Michael Gorman.
Gorman, who we'll see later in this order. 2-2 from Gross as the righty rocks and deals. Breaking ball popped into very shallow center. In comes Shackelford. He'll call off his teammates. He's going to throw in quickly to Marquez. Good throw right in line. No tag from third. And that is the first out of the inning.
And just throw strikes. That's what you need to do. Make them hit the ball. You can't lose the game if you just throw strikes. I mean, sure, you can give up hits, give up home runs, but eventually they're going to swing and miss. Not every bat's going to hit the ball.
1 down for Cole Durkin, 241 hitter of the season, was 0-for-4 last night. Righty to lefty, first pitch misses outside. 1-0 from Tommy Gross. You have the bases loaded, Listing on third, hit by pitch. McDaniel on second, Murphy on first, both of whom reached on walks. 1-0 from Gross, fouled back, 1-1.
Now this also emphasizes the job that Jacob Marquez has to do behind the plate. You have 3 guys on with 1 out. If you're Tommy Gross and Marquez, you want Cole Durkin to produce a ground ball to get out of the inning, but you also have to be careful. Anything in the dirt, you gotta block.
1-1 is fouled back. That did get away from Marquez, but because it was fouled back. Thought we were gonna have a little broadcaster's jinx.
You know, it happens way too often. Been trying to be better about it, but sometimes it still eats at you.
Gross ahead 1-2. Strikeout would be huge. They lead 3-0 bottom of the first. Down and outside, did he go? Yes, he did. A Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout for Tommy Gross. And with the bases loaded, now 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
Gotta remember, the bases were loaded with no outs. Kersey went down on a fly ball, now Durkin down on strikes, and here comes Jared Neekum, who's batting .222 on the season. He does have 11 walks, but you are 1 out away from getting out of what could be a nightmare of an inning.
Neekum, hitless his last 3 games, watches the first pitch. Outside, 1-0. Bases loaded. for Glens Falls, who have lost 17 straight games. The Stallions, on their other hand, trying to work closer to that 2 seed. 1-0 misses low, 2-0. It's Gross to the mound, Marquez behind the plate, Iverson, Brown, Renwick, Burkhammer left to right of the infield. In the outfield, it's Kendall, Shackelford, Verduzco left to right. A 2-0 count to the lefty, Nico. Again misses down, good block by Marquez. It is a ball 3, and a walk would, of course, bring home a run.
So same situation as it was with Kersey. You might as well just get it over. Just get it over. Don't need to throw it 90 miles an hour or try and throw it 100 miles an hour. Take a few miles an hour off of the fastball and just get it over. No need to overthrow.
Counts at 3-0. Gross takes a deep breath. And he misses low. Dragons on the board. 3-1 Stallions, bottom of the first.
Now batting number 10, Nick Winslow.
Brings up Nick Winslow. Did not play last night, but has recorded hits in back-to-back games that he has played in the .238 hitter. And the righty watches outside from Gross, 1-0.
That's the third straight at-bat that Tommy Gross has started with a fastball that misses outside.
25 pitches, 17 balls so far for Gross. So look to find the zone of the 1-0. Curveball drops in, nice pitch, 1-1 outside corner.
And it's good to mix them up too. When the fastball is not working, go to the curveball. If the curveball doesn't work, go back to the fastball. Eventually, you're going to find a groove and get things to work.
1-1 delivery, same pitch, same result. A strike at the knees, and now Gross ahead 1-2. Maybe that's the pitch he needed to work towards. Winslow settles back in with the bases loaded for Glens Falls. Gross settles the 1-2 pitch. Misses just down, 2-2.
Now you've gone 3 straight off speeds. See if you can come back with the fastball, maybe in at the hands, and get Winslow to swing and miss.
The Dragons have put just 1 ball in play so far. 2-2 breaks over the helmet of Winslow as he dances away, and now, after getting ahead 1-2, the count's full. Full count with 2 outs, 3-1 Stallions. The bases are loaded for Nick Winslow. Big pitch from Gross, down and outside, into the backstop. The run will score. Murphy makes his way about a third of the way past third. And back-to-back bases loaded walks for Tommy Gross.
There's some movement out in the bullpen and left field.
Yeah, I was just about to say, at what point do you start to get the bullpen moving? And it looks like that'll be the case.
Aaron Cohn, I believe. No?
I can't see. Is it?
Might be Brendan Hines.
Brendan Hines.
That's who it is.
Yep.
Michael Gorman digs in. 2 outs, the bases remain loaded. Pitch misses inside from Gross. 3-2 Stallions. After recording 4 hits in the top of the first, Tommy Gross has walked 4 and hit 1 in the bottom of this inning. 1-0 from Gross. Breaking ball down and out, 2-0.
I do have to mention I was wrong before when I said Michael Gorman was tied with Joe Kersey for 25 strikeouts. That's J.C. Caffarella, but Gorman does have 22.
Hitless in his last 3. 2-0 misses away, and again, a 3-ball count for Tommy Gross, who has struggled with his command tonight. As the base loaded, a walk would tie it. The 3-0 does just that, down and outside. And Tommy Gross just does not seem to have it tonight.
Now batting number 20, Evan Keegan.
Brings up Evan Keegan. The bases remain loaded. The Dragons have scored 3 runs on no hits, all on free 90s. First offering from Gross, outside 1-0.
If you remember the other day, Tommy Gross just 1 hit allowed. So he did administer 5 walks, which he has matched today.
Will come home on the 1-0 to Keegan. Misses in the dirt, 2-0. Bases loaded to Evan Keegan. The 2-0 pitch from Gross. It's a curveball, hits on the outside corner, 2-1. That's the pitch, Michael, that he's been able to locate the zone with.
Yeah, I think he's just overthrowing his fastball. He's thinking a bit too much. He's worried about the guys in the base paths, although he hasn't thrown over. They get in your head.
2-1, curveball, fanned on, 2-2 now.
You've thrown it twice in this at-bat in a row. You've gotten 2 strikes in a row. You might as well go back with it.
2-2 count, 2 outs. We are tied at 3 in the bottom of the first. Gross from the first base side of the mound, facing the righty Evan Keegan. The pitch home. This is low. Marquez, another really good block. He's had a few nice defensive plays behind the plate.
Well, it's tough to compare. Gene Napolitano earlier this season was probably the best behind the plate at stopping the ball, but Marquez has gotten a lot better.
3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Gross wraps up the first. But the Dragons do score 3 on no hits, 3 runners left on base. We get to the top of the second, 3-3 the score on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the second, Stallions Baseball is brought to you by 5-Star Words and Tees, top custom team gear awards. Benson Steel, the Stallion stolen base sponsor. They put stuff up you can't knock down. Bob Garrick Septic, honest, dependable, reliable. If you need it pumped out, call Bob. BP's Carpentry and Maintenance. Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Lawyers, the Stallions hit by pitch sponsor. If you've been hit, call Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Attorneys. And Dallas Hot Wieners, the Stallions Bullpen sponsor, bringing the hot sauce out of the bullpen. Jarrett Brown gets us started, top of the second. First pitch from Joe Rendy misses down and out, 1-0. It's a 3-3 game, the 3 runs coming in 2 completely different ways for both teams. The Stallions have had a lot of success hitting off Rendy. Tommy Gross struggles with his command to the bottom of the first for Saugerties as Brown, which is just a piece of it, fouls it away, 1-1.
A lot of times you score 3 runs in the first inning, and the mindset for the team could be, oh, you score 3 in the first inning, maybe we'll run away with this one. But Glens Falls had the answer. They scored 3 in the bottom of the first, maybe courtesy of Tommy Gross, but they're right with him.
Jarrett Brown lined into left center and a diving catch. Are you serious? Corey Listing just robbed him of a potential extra base knock. What a grab.
I mean, you barreled it up if you're Jarrett Brown. You can't ask for anything more besides a tip of your cap to the center fielder, Corey Listing. I mean, what a catch. He almost looked like he stumbled as he dove for it. Went down to a knee awkwardly, and he ended up making the catch. He got Brown retired.
What a snag. As Caden Kendall comes to the plate, watches a curveball hit on the inside corner. And those are the type of plays that Randy's going to need his field to make behind him. The way the Stallions have been putting barrels on these balls as Kendall gives this a ride out to left. Gorman goes back, and it's off the fence. Kendall heads off to second. It's bobbled by Gorman, and Kendall's going to stay put at second. A double for the 5th hit of the game. Caden Kendall getting the job done at the top of the second.
That's 2 barreled balls this inning. The 5th hit of the game, as you said. I mean, really, could it be 6?
Now batting
It could, but it's not. It's just 5 after the great catch from Listing. But you know the bats are alive, and if it is going to be a high-scoring game, they have to stay alive all the way through.
Brings up Jacob Marquez. Situation to drive home a run as 13 RBI in the year. A 3-3 game, top of the second. First pitch from Randy to Marquez, misses low. Kendall's going to stay put at second. The switch hitting Marquez, hitting 175 in the year, did not play yesterday. Was 1 for 3 against Amsterdam. He recorded his first hit and first RBI in that game in quite some time. His first hit since June 26th. After a 5-game hitless streak. 1-0, hit in the ground, right field side. It's fielded in shallow right by McDaniel. He'll throw on to first in time for at number 2.
Marquez did his job. He did his job. He moved the runner over from second to third, 90 feet closer to the plate, and well, now you have the top of the order to try and bring Kendall in.
David Shackelford's 0 for 1, a line out to short in his first at bat. As Kendall now stands on third base. 3-3 game, top 2. Stallions need to win 2 games. That could include this game tonight in order to clinch the 2 seed in the playoffs. Give him a first round bye. First pitch to Shackelford, misses. Oh, hits down and inside despite Winslow off in a slide pretty far to his left.
I mean, whatever works, I guess.
0-1 to the righty Shackelford. Curveball, line back, and now behind 0-2.
Randy's worked fairly quickly. He likes to get in a rhythm on the mound. He doesn't like to give the batter a ton of time, but now he steps off as I say that. He does it again.
Step off again. Must have heard you. 0-2 with 2 outs. Kendall on third. The pitch home to Shackelford, misses outside. 1-2. Seems like all he's bringing right now is a fastball that's probably low 80s and a curveball that does have a lot of movement.
Certainly spins it out of the hand, and it does get not only a lot of north and south break, but a lot of east to west.
1-2, curveball hitting a line foul, left field side. It was just a bit early on it, and the count stays 1-2.
I mean, when you say just a bit early, he turned on it. He saw it the entire way, barreled it foul, but that was in between the lines. That's an extra base hit, and that certainly brings the run home.
1-2, 2 outs. The pitch home to Shackelford is down and away. Winslow gets to his right to block it. 2-2 now the count.
You also have to be careful. Winslow behind the plate. Can't let anything go by you.
2-2 pitch, line back. And the count stays at 2-2 with 2 outs to David Shackelford. Did not play last night against Amsterdam. Guy who is headed to Arizona in the fall. He'll tap the plate. Await the 2-2 offering from Rendy with 2 outs. Hit into center field, an RBI single for David Shackelford on a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. And the Stallions have Retaking the lead. 4-3 in the top of the second.
It's just consistent hitting all the way through from top to bottom in the order. At the beginning of the season, it was mainly just the top half of the order getting the hits. We saw some stretches where it was more coming for the bottom half. Now it's evened out, and really everybody from top to bottom are getting hits day in and day out.
Now Berghammer is 0 for 1 today. As throwback to first done in time, Shackelford slides in head first safely. 4-3 lead for the Stallions. 2 outs and a runner on first in Shackelford. He'll lead off the bag. And now takes off to second. Throw down from Winslow, bounces short of second, and Shackelford's in safely. Bit of a collision between him and the second baseman, McDaniel, but Quinn seems to be okay.
It's a great throw by Winslow, but an even better snag and tag by Quinn McDaniel. Didn't get the runner, but it bounced about 10 feet before the bag, and Quinn McDaniel stayed with it and applied the tag, even though Shackelford was barreling toward him.
Another Benson steal. The Stallions have attempted to steal really every time they've been on base tonight, at least with the runner on first. The 1-0 to Berghammer. On one hop to first, it's fielded by Kersey. No step on the bag, and that wraps up the top of the second. And to the bottom of the second, 1 run coming across on 2 hits and 1 left on base. Stallions baseball, the Saugerties Stallions, broadcast
Hey,
network.
fans, if you
Back here at East Field, where the Saugerties Stallions lead 4-3 over the Glens Falls Dragons. And let's send things downfield side to our sideline reporter tonight, Shannon Bonowitz. Shannon?
Thank you, John. The Ponies are trying to build off a big 4-0 shutout over the Amsterdam Mohawks last night. And I believe the big thing tonight is getting the bats rolling early. Right now, Tommy Gross is struggling with command, and we are now up by 1 run. But we are out hitting them 6-0. But right now we need the bats rolling and better defense, and I think we'll be all right. But right now we need better command by the pitching and the bats rolling.
There you go, Shannon, thank you. And we enter the bottom of the second. It is 4-3. Saugerties in front, and as Shannon said, that command's the issue in the first inning for Tommy Gross. Rich Doobie, though, trusting his starting pitcher, sending him out there for a second inning.
Yeah, I think it's something that every young pitcher has to go through. If you have a bad inning, you have to go back out there and you have to do it over and sort of make right what was wrong.
10-1, 2-2 up. Ryan Ash ducks away from a 2-seamer high and in for ball 1.
You know, pitch count wasn't exactly that high in the first inning, higher than you'd like it to be in one inning, but for a complete outing, it was certainly not.
1-0 misses down and outside, 2-0. Has now thrown 29 balls, 13 strikes tonight. Shake off his head, behind 2-0. Looks to Marquez behind the plate. A slow delivery, and works it in the outside corner, 2-1. Ash hitting 130 on the year, hitless in his last 7 games. One offering from the righty is swung through, 2-2. Three Saugerties, bottom 2. A 2-2 count to the leadoff batter this inning, and Ryan Ash. The pitch home, hit out to left center field. Back goes Kendall on the move. He won't get to it. It'll roll off the fence. And stumbling towards second base is Ash. He's in with a stand-up double. First hit of the night for Glens Falls, and the first hit in 7 games for Ryan Ash.
I guess the positive from that, if you're the Stallions, is that Tommy Gross threw it over the plate. He threw a couple of strikes there, and he's maybe feeling a bit more comfortable. Good piece of hitting from Ryan Ash, who is the 10 hitter, lowest batting average on the team. Just one of 2 under the interstate of 200. But now it goes over to the top of the order, who Corey Liston comes up, was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. It was the first pitch, too, I believe.
Yep, first pitch of the game. Now with 1 away, a runner on second is the tying run. To the leadoff batter, Listing down and outside You almost and you do prefer Gross gives up a hit in that situation than another walk. At least good to see him starting to find the zone a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's going to help the confidence going forward, not just tonight, but moving into your next start or your next appearance.
Well, Jack back at second. 1-0 over the head of Listing, who had to duck down. 2-0. Pitch to Listing. Fastball at the knees, 2-1. Good spot from Gross. 4-3 Stallions. The Stallions are out hitting Glens Falls 6-1. Check back to Ash on second after the stand-up double. The 2-1 popped first base side, foul out of play, and it's just over the bleachers. Like Michael said earlier, crowded day, especially on the first base side. And a lot of fans.
A lot of kids in the ballpark too, and that means more kids going after those foul balls to get a $1, a hot dog, and a soda.
An iconic promotion. 2-2 from Gross. Down and outside, Marquez couldn't block it, and the wild pitch allows the tying run to head off to third. I'll never forget, I think it was 2 years ago, there was a Glens Falls fan at the first base side of bleachers. There was a kid who actually fell through the bleachers from like the top. Ended up being okay though. Ambulance came, the kid was fine. I watched him take literally like a 20-something feet tumble, just got back up and kept running.
Actually?
Kids have like no sense of pain.
Did he get the foul ball? That's the
I don't
question.
remember. 3-2, hit on the ground towards center, and it's a backhand stop by Brown, spinning to first. Oh my, what a play. Jared Brown from shallow center, a wheeling and dealing toss onto first, gets the first out. It does allow a run to score to tie things. But that was a web gem play by the shortstop.
I mean, Listing gets the RBI, but Jared Brown gets the highlight reel. I mean, caught it on the run, moving toward his left, spun, almost actually bumped into Jack Renwick over there behind second base, and he got it over there in time. Real good, strong arm from the shortstop out of Georgia Southern.
Daniel hacks at a high fastball. 0-1. With one down, we are now tied at 4 in the bottom of the second. A 1, make that 0-2. Fastball spots the outside corner. And for the first time today, Tommy Gross had 0-2. Now 1 out on the 2-hitter McDaniel, who walked in his first at-bat. Gross has 2 strikeouts already. Fires home, 0-2, swinging, strike 3, his third Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout of the night. 2 outs.
Well, now he's in a position with 2 outs. He hasn't been in so far. Granted, it's been 2 innings, but the first inning, he got 2 outs after the first 3 were reached safely on a hit by pitch and 2 walks, and now he's got nobody on base with 2 outs. So he's in the driver's seat, and it's important for him to throw a first pitch strike and keep it going from there.
Looks to do it against James Murphy, and he does throw a first pitch strike. It's fouled off the ankle of Mr. Murphy, who walked in his first at-bat. 4-4, bottom 2. The Stallions' second to last meeting of the season against Glens Falls have lost just 1 game this year to the Dragons. Came in a 13-12 game at Cantine. A 1 pitch, lofted to short. Brown, easy work to make the play. And we head to the top of the third. So much better inning for Tommy Gross. 1 run comes across for the Dragons on 1 hit. And we head to the top of the third. 4-4 the score on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
Top of the third inning, all squared up at 4 here at East Field on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Brought to you by Design Yourself Strong Sports Performance at DYS. They build better athletes. Dwyer Contracting, high-quality craftsmanship, and a family-owned business. Ephros Orthodontics, the smile provider for the Stallions. Gristmill Realty, looking to sell? List with Gristmill. Halter Associates Realty, make the right move with Halter. And Hells Mortal Realty and Insurance, sponsor of insurance runs for the Stallions. So far, it's been a game of anything you can do, I can do better, or at least I can answer the call. The Stallions put up 3 in the top half of the first. Glens Falls did the same in the bottom half, and the Stallions drove in 1 more. And well, Glens Falls did the same. So we go to the top half of the third inning, and Josh Stevenson will lead off. He singled and scored a run back in the first.
Batting for Glens Falls, number 23, Desanel.
And a pitching change, Brendan Desanel, who was supposed to be the starter,
Batting for
is
Saugerties,
now
number
on the
1,
mound.
Josh Stevenson.
Desanel's first offering to Stevenson, a breaking ball that drops in there for strike 1. And Desanel actually has had 2 starts, or 1 start against the Stallions this year, as he played for Amsterdam for the longest time, a back-end bullpen guy. As the 0-1 is another breaking ball, this time on the outside half of the plate, make it 0-2.
And you could already see much better stuff than Rendy, who was pretty much the opener tonight for Glens Falls.
Desanel from the windup, the 0-2, cut on and miss, strike 3, a drop third, and Winslow tags out Stevenson. And now, I believe it's Mike Mooney who has a word with Josh Stevenson. Stevenson gave him a little tap, Nick Winslow, and I guess Winslow wasn't happy about it. I think it was more of a friendly tap.
Yeah, it looked like it was a drop third strike. Stevenson kind of stuck out his right elbow, and Winslow applied the tag, but seemed to take a little bit of an exception to that.
Now stepping in, Cade Verduzco, also singled in the first, but he drove in Stevenson after he stole second. Breaking ball missed upstairs, 1-0. Now Desanel ready again. Another breaking ball, this time catching the lower half of the zone. And Verduzco's been a great addition to the Stallions team. He came in a little bit later than everybody else out of Grand Canyon University. He's been a good arm in the right field and a good bat at the plate as he watches ball 2 in the dirt.
He has, and he's been somebody who the Stallions can put at DH or EH interchangeably. And like you said, has been a nice piece in the outfield.
The 2-1 outside. Breaking ball misses again, and it's really only been breaking balls thus far from Desanel, who is now behind in the count 3-1 with 1 out. The righty deals Verduzco, fouls that one toward the right side. Ranging over is the first baseman Kersey, but it hops over the fence and goes out of play, make it 3-2.
He has a lot of movement in his windup. He'll bring his left foot back, bring his right foot back, tap his right foot, and then load off the mound and fire home. So a lot going on with the feet in this delivery from Brendan Desanel.
If you ask me if any of it is a balk, I really couldn't tell you. Full count pitch is low and away, gets by Nick Winslow, but Verduzco will trot on down to first with a 1-out walk.
Good at bat. Again, it might take a little longer for the Stallions to find success against Desanel compared to Joe Rendy. Rendy, not an everyday pitcher. Desanel is a pitcher. Brings some better stuff. But I think as you see the Stallions get through the lineup, we know this is a very good team offensively. They will find success eventually.
Nothing and nothing to Renwick, who fouls one back to the netting. And John, did you have Rendy's final line?
He went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, had a walk, and 1 strikeout.
So certainly not the opener that the Glens Falls Dragons hoped for, but we're still in this game nonetheless. as their bats have made up for it. Verduzco leads off of first. Renwick at the plate. Dizenel from the stretch, dealing quickly, and the breaking ball is in there on the outside corner, 0-2.
Great spot. He has a lot of movement on that slider. And it's been freezing some Stallions batters up.
0-2 as Dizenel checks the runner. Now he steps off. Dizenel's stretch delivery a lot different than the windup. Just goes straight in. The 0-2, Renwick fouls one back once again on the first base side, but over the bleachers and out of play.
It's a lot more compact, and it has to be. If you're taking a lot of time on the mound with a windup, guys are going to be stealing on you all day. So that's why you see pitchers, even if they have some sort of complicated, little longer windup, longer delivery, they're going to pitch out of the stretch when a guy's on base.
And it almost looks like the arm slot's a bit different too. Instead of 3/4, maybe over the top, as the pickoff move back to first is not in time. Verduzco back in there safely. See pitchers as he goes back to first.
And Verduzco getting quite the workout at first.
You see a lot of pitchers, they change up their delivery, change up their arm slot and arm angle in different situations. The runner on the 0-2, Verduzco goes, and there's a Benson steal. They put stuff up you can't knock down. His second Benson steal of the night, and the Stallions' fourth.
They keep moving. That's what Adam Cray does, and it was great talking to him on Sundays with the Stallions today. If you haven't watched that yet, definitely go check it out. It's on our YouTube page. But he talked about the fact that he likes to be aggressive, and it's worked out really well for the Stallions this year. They have good speed, and Verduzco one of those guys.
The 1-2 outside. Good recovery from Nick Winslow to catch it, so Verduzco couldn't get another bag. But now the count 2-2 with one out in a 4-4 ball game. Verduzco leads off of second with Renwick at the plate. Dizenel from the stretch. The pitch up and away. The count is now stretched to full.
Seems like he really wants to use that slider, trying to just get it in the outside corner, but it keeps starting to outside for it to be effective. It's not looking like a strike coming out of the hands. When you have a pitch that's moving side to side like that with as much bite as it does have, it has to at least look like a strike when it's starting to come to the batter. Otherwise, they know it's going outside, started outside, it's going to keep going outside.
Always a tough pitch to hit. So much east to west movement, let alone up and down. Verduzco takes off. Renwick skies that one into center field. Verduzco's going to have to go back towards second. No, that drops in there. Right in front of the center fielder, Corey Listing, and there's a base hit for Jack Renwick. His second of the night, as Verduzco moves over to third with runners on the corners. And just one out of the inning, up comes Colin Mackel.
That's the definition of putting it where they're not. Just drops into no man's land. He reaches with another hit, the 7th hit of the game for the Stallions, the 2nd of the night for Jack Renwick. And Michael, I'll bet you a quarter that Jack Renwick steals a base right now, or at least gives it a try.
I will give you that quarter. Can I give it to you now? Nothing and nothing to Mackel, and off goes Renwick, and he is in there. A Benson steal, and I said we were saying it a lot. We were going to say it a lot, and we have. They put stuff up you can't knock down. The 5th of the ball game, the 1st for Jack Renwick. So now 2 runners in scoring position with a 1-0 count to Colin Mackel. Already on lefty matchup as the breaking ball misses low. Dizenel with his hands up in disbelief. He thought it crossed the plate. Nonetheless, Mike Mooney said it did not. So count now reads 2-0 with run out.
Infield in.
In a 4-4 ball game, Dizenel fires inside. Now he's behind 3-0. Dizenel has to bounce back, at least throw a strike. As he does there on the breaking ball, he's working much quicker. As he fakes throw over to third, I mean, it's something with these runners. He's very attentive, at least to Cade Verduzco. The 3-1 doesn't give Mackel any time to get set as he fouls that one back.
I mean, it's understandable. The Stallions have 5 stolen bases. It's only the third inning. There's two and a third innings into the game. The Stallions have 5 stolen bases. So I get why he's so concerned with these base runners.
The payoff from Dissanel is lined past the second baseman McDaniel into right field for a base hit. 1 run comes home. The throw in is cut off, and that drives 2 in. So a 2 RBI single, his second single of the day, and his 3rd RBI of the day for Colin Mackel gives the Stallions a 6-4 lead.
How about that? Mackel really turning things up as of late. Last night was 1 for 3. Had an enormous double, which drove him a run, at a pair of RBI last night.
As Iverson cuts and fouls the first one back toward the first base side and out of play.
But that's what you'd love to see. We were commenting off air before the broadcast. Look, bottom 5 in this lineup, all hitting under 200. But it's going to come down to some of these guys producing down the stretch. If the Stallions are going to win a championship, make a run to the playoffs, they have to do that.
Mackel takes off, and the ball is thrown into center field by Winslow. Mackel now going to third, and he will be in there safely on an E2. But a Benson steal from first to second. They put stuff up you can't knock down. The 3rd of the inning, the 6th of the ball game. We got to keep a tally. We need a whiteboard
I know.
to keep all these tallies. The 0-2 is upstairs, making 1 and 2 to Nick Iverson, who grounded into a fielder's choice to end the first inning. The 1-2, got him! Strike 3 called, a breaking ball catching the outside corner. And Iverson is retired for the second out, and the second strikeout from Dissanel.
Yeah, you'd love to bring this run home if you're the Stallions, especially the way that Jaime Gross has struggled a bit, but you still got a couple runs. You have, again, put up runs on the board, and now it comes down to Jared Brown to see if he can deliver.
0-0 to the guy they call JB, or according to Rich Newby, Brownie. The 1-0, oh, that hits him upstairs. Might have been in the helmet, as it took a couple ricochets, and Stevenson tosses the bat back to the dugout, and he'll walk on down to first. Obviously no intent, but just lost a fastball, Dissanel, and sometimes when you're righty on righty or lefty on lefty, sometimes that can happen.
Hey, you're trying to establish yourself on the inside corner, and a pitch gets away. And a lot of times, like you said, those pitches are going to run inside on you. That's exactly what happened. So Brown at first. You have 2 outs for Caden Kendall, who is 1 for 1 with a double. And maybe traditional wisdom might say maybe don't steal. You don't want to make the final out on the bases, but I won't be shocked if they do steal. They've had success. They've literally not been thrown out at all today in the base pass. If Brown goes and they make a throw, then you're probably going to bring home a run to score in Colin Mackel. So Winslow might even give you second base. Won't be shocked to see again the Stallions be aggressive.
So Brown reaches the 7th Stallion to do so tonight. And that brings up Caden Kendall with the runners on the corners. 0-0. Brown takes off, the throw to second, not in time, and it's into center field once again. It was a decent throw by Winslow, but the run will score in by Colin Mackel, and now Brown is standing on third, and the Stallions are up 7-4. It is a Benson steal. You can't, or they put stuff up you can't knock down, and I mean, is it a throwing error or is it a fielding error? Because it looked like a decent throw.
I think it's probably still going to be down as a throwing error. But nonetheless, I mean, man, what a job today by the Stallions in the bases. They came in today with the game plan. We're going, we're moving, we're being aggressive, and they have kept it on. Literally every time they get on first, they're going.
Now the count is 3-0 to Caden Kendall, who doubled in the second inning. Stallions lead it 7-4, and Kendall draws a walk, so he's on base both times tonight so far to bring up the 10-hitter and the catcher, Jacob Marquez, who grounded out to second in his first try.
Kendall, one of the fastest guys of the team, he'll probably go as well.
There's 7 so far. I need to know the record in one game by the Stallions. I don't know if we have those
honestly,
numbers.
this is probably it already.
As Kendall takes off, and not even a throw from Winslow. He would have been in with time to check his pockets for change. And the pitch misses outside. Marquez, a lefty hitter. Dissanel deals a breaking ball in there for a strike, and it seems as though it's that breaking ball, just like Tommy Gross, Dissanel, it's working for him as well.
Yeah, he struggled to build his command. 17 balls, 16 strikes, but it's been that breaking ball that's worked.
That pitch, a fastball in the outside corner, make the count 1-2. Two on, 2 outs. The Stallions have put up 3 this inning, and they're up 3. Dissanel deals. Marquez lifts one deep toward right field, but it's going foul. He turned on it, and if it was between the lines, it certainly would have been gone.
Yeah, that was absolutely crushed. Was on it, was a little too on it. Made great contact. Good to see from him. I was looking to straighten it out a little bit on a 1-2 count. Chance to add a couple more runs to this 3-run lead.
The 1-2 upstairs. Marquez leans out of the way. And the count now even at 2. And I'm sure that Dissanel does not want to throw him that pitch again.
No, the previous pitch he just threw did have a lot of movement. 2-2, the 1-2 pitch was a 2-seam fastball and a lot of life behind it.
The 2-2, Marquez chops this one toward first. McDaniel picks it up, throws it over to Kersey to end the inning, but not before the Stallions strike for 3 more. On 2 hits, they left 2 runners on. At the end of 2.5, the Stallions lead at 7-4 right here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom half of the 3rd inning as the Saugerties Stallions have a 7-4 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons here at East Field in Glens Falls, New York. Michael Gross, John Gross, thank you all for joining us on this absolutely gorgeous Sunday evening. As Tommy Gross comes back out onto the mound once again, as Kersey fouls one off down the line and out of play.
And the Stallions need innings from Gross. Their offense is picking him up, and now he just needs to find the zone.
The 0-1 is outside, and finding the zone seems to still be an issue.
Did a much better job though in the second. Just faced 4 batters, Did a nice job. He gave up 1 hit, 1 run, but after giving up that double, settled down and retired the 2 and 3 batters.
The Stallions have scored at least a run in each of the first 3 innings. Glens Falls trying to do the same. The 1-1 is grounded and through between first and second the other way for a base hit.
But again, I'm okay with that. That's a ground ball that maybe if the infield is shifted a little bit more a certain direction, that's an out. You'd rather have that. You'd rather give your defense a chance to make the play than give up free 90s.
He's throwing strikes in that at bat too, 2 of them.
And he throws hard. When he's throwing strikes, he's a really good pitcher, but he just needs to be consistent at the zone.
0-0 in the dirt. Marquez, good block. And Kersey will stay at first as Cole Durkin steps into the box, struck out in his first at bat in the first inning. One of 3 strikeouts, or 3 strikeout victims for Tommy Gross. As Gross deals the 1-0, it's lifted high and deep. Not as deep toward right field as Verduzco is under it to make the grab for the first out of the inning.
There you go. Again, finding the zone, making guys hit it. Listen, this is a really good Stallions defense. We haven't seen every team in the league, but out of the East Division and Mohawk Valley, I think we're probably the best defensive team that I've seen. And I'm saying that from trying to be as unbiased as possible. So have faith in your 8 guys around you. You'll be able to make the plays.
Tommy Gross will step off before even throwing a pitch to Jared Neekum, who he walked. It was one of 5 walks and 6 free 90s in the first inning. Since then, not a single one, as Neekum swings and misses and a pitch low in the dirt, 0-1. I think this was Rich Doobie's plan all along. Keep Tommy Gross in, make him deal with it, and make him straighten some things out, as now the count is even at 1-1. Because a lot of young pitchers need to figure out how to dig themselves out of the holes that they put themselves into.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's staying in there.
The 1-1 is chopped foul.
And it's good for Gross to work through these things. It's also important for the Stallions because, as we touched on before, this is a team that does not have the deepest bullpen right now. Not a ton of options. You don't want to have to burn arms, especially with the playoffs just around the corner. Important that Gross gives them a solid 3, if not more innings.
The 1-2, grounded towards short, backhanded by Brown, on to Renwick, now to throw to first, is not in time. Berghammer can't field it. Neekman will go on down to second as the ball got away.
Now batting number 10.
See how they
Winslow.
score it. In just a moment, I presume there will be an error on the play. Just a matter of, will it be a throwing error or a fielding error?
Well, it is Berghammer's first ever time playing first base. I think it was a throwing error on Jack Renwick offline. But again, Berghammer's first time playing first, something to monitor.
So it'll be a fielder's choice, 6-4, as the first pitch is in there for a strike to Nick Winslow. But he reached and went on to second on a throwing error, E4. So the first error of the night for the Stallions.
And when I say first time playing first base for Berghammer, I mean it. Literally, it is his first time in his baseball career, according to him, ever playing first base.
We'll hear more about that come the middle of the 5th inning when our sideline reporter Shannon Bonowit gives us some more information on that, as the 1-1 is in the dirt, 2-1. Winslow, another one of those guys that was walked, now has 12 on the season. As Gross checks the runner on second. The 2-1, a breaking ball, almost catches Winslow in the head. He's had a lot of those that have slipped out of the hands of Tommy Gross. Now certainly warming up in the pen is Brendan Hines. I presume this will be Gross's last inning, maybe even last batter The 3-1 is lifted towards second base and over the head of a leaping Renwick. On his way home is Neekum, and he will stay at third, actually, and hit the brakes. But a base hit puts runners on the corners from Nick Winslow, and that brings up Michael Gorman.
A phenomenal throw by Verduzco going right. And he got after that ball. A lot of times you might see guys lollygag to it. He is sprinting 110% to get there. He makes a nice throw into the infield. It's cut off by Berghammer. And Neekum has to head back to the bag. So another chance with Michael Gorman to the plate for Gross to get out of this inning without allowing a run.
Good job by Berghammer. A lot of times people may think, well, the first baseman's job is just to catch the ball when the play is made across the diamond. Well, they have to do so much more. Go in cover and hit the cutoff and everything. You got to be in certain positions during certain times, and that's sometimes a lot to take in and a lot to process just on your first game. Runners on the corners. Gross from the stretch. The 0-0 is low. 1-1. It's Michael Gorman at the plate, who has 7 RBIs on the year. Batting average at 185, as he did walk in the first inning. That pitch is in there for a strike, low and away. Or should I say low and outside corner. The Stallions put up 3 in the top half of the third. Have a 3-run lead with 2 outs. Here in the bottom half, as Gross's 1-1 is outside, 2-1. Seems as though Nick Winslow was staying put on first. He doesn't want to test the arm of Jacob Marquez, and rightfully so. The 2-1 from Gross is low and in the dirt, and Winslow will take the bag anyway on the wild pitch. So a 3-1 count, as now Gross has to battle back to Michael Gorman. Neekum off third, Winslow off of second. The 3-1 is outside, and Gorman walks. Out comes Rich Doobie. I think this will be the first Dallas Hot Cleaners call to the bullpen, and yes, it is. As Tommy Gross will check out of the game after 2 2/3 to make way for Brendan Hines. We'll be right back here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third inning, the first Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for Rich Doobie and the Stallions after Tommy Gross pitched just 2 2/3. In comes Brendan Hines to pitch. As his first offering is outside.
Hines making his third appearance of the season, a 13.50 ERA in 2 innings this season. Similar to Tommy Gross, he struggled with his command as 8 walks and 1 strikeout. He's only allowed 2 hits though.
The 1-0 is in there for a strike, a fastball. It had been a 2-seamer that actually came in a little bit on Evan Keegan as it crossed the plate. Make it 1-1. Dealing from the windup, the pitch, swing and a miss from Keegan on a fastball. Now 1-2, and Hines is in a good position to get out of the inning.
You'd love to see him get ahead early. He's a young guy, just finished high school, headed to Ithaca. Again, struggled with his command, but getting up 1-2, hopefully a good sign for what's to come.
The 1-2 pitch. Oh, just off the outside corner. On a fastball. Marquez did well to frame it behind the plate, but nothing going. 2 balls, 2 strikes with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. The pitch caught on and missed. He got him. Brendan Hines gets out of the inning. 1 batter, 1 out, and a Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout to end the inning. Hines is first, but Glens Falls is left scoreless in the bottom of the third. That is big for the Stallions as we will come back in the top half of the fourth. The Stallions will come to the plate here on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
Number 55, David Shackelford.
Top of the fourth inning, the Stallions lead it 7-4 on the Stallions Broadcast Network. So happy to have all of you joining us tonight. Michael Gross, John Gross, we're at East Field as the Glens Falls Dragons trail the Saugerties Stallions. And Shackelford into the box takes 0-1. Shackelford is 1 for 2. 2 hard hit balls, a single, and a line out to short. As he watches breaking ball outside 1-1. He's been up and down the order. I think he's might start solidifying himself in the top half if he keeps reaching base like he does there. And a hit by pitch. So call up Delvecchia and Kraft. If you've been hit, call Delvecchia and Kraft injury attorneys.
Now batting number 12,
And that brings up Noah Berghammer. Berghammer, one of just 3 that have yet to reach through 2 times through the order. As he loops one toward shallow center, and that gets over the head of McDaniel and in for a base hit. So, as I say it, Berghammer takes it away and is in there with a base hit.
A guy who's just a very good contact hitter. Hitting well over 300
now
this
batting
season.
number 1, Josh
No extra
Stevens.
base hits, but he gets the job done. Just hits single after single after single. So you love to see from a guy, he's a quintessential two-hitter. You love to see a guy who can just get on base, hit singles, and set up the meat of the order to drive you in.
Stevenson turns on one, and that's past the diving McDaniel into right field. Coming home is Shackelford. He will score. Berghammer on his way to third. He's in there safely in an RBI single to put one in and runners on the corners with no outs here in the top of the 4th inning as the Stallions extend the lead to 4. It's 8-4.
And he's now 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Again, you don't need to do anything complicated tonight. Just get hits, and the Stallions have done that. A whole lot of singles, moving guys around with stolen bases. And again, Stevenson, I bet you another quarter, Michael, he's going to go.
We'll have to see as Verduzco takes low 1-0. The Stallions have now scored in all 4 innings. 3 in the first, 2 in the second, or 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and now 1 in the fourth as Stevenson takes off, and he's in there with another Benson steal. And John, I owe you another quarter. Stevenson
gonna get rich off
steal.
this.
They put stuff up you can't knock down, and yeah, what do I owe you now? 3 quarters?
A whopping 50 cents.
50 cents.
Now, you can just give me a fist bump right now.
Okay.
There we go.
The 2-0 to Verduzco, is upstairs 3-0.
But this is the way the Stallions have played. And it's maybe not to this extreme, not stealing every time you get on first base. They're aggressive.
Verduzco takes, and he draws a 4-pitch walk from Brendan Dissonell.
And keep this in mind, as the Stallions inch closer to even more runs. If we saw the Tommy Gross that we've seen the last couple of innings in that first inning, this is an 8-1, 8-2 ball game. You like the job Gross did down the stretch, a little better than in the beginning.
First pitch is away from the catcher Winslow, and that'll bring in Noah Berghammer. So a wild pitch drives in a run. And the Stallions now lead it 9-4.
This game is just going to come down to, we know the Stallions are going to keep hitting, keep scoring. Can the Stallions pitching be accurate enough, precise enough to not walk guys and force Glens Falls to swing the bat?
The 1-0 is low and away, and to your point, John, this is the game that you have to really bear down and do it. If you're the Stallions, these are the games that I guess you're supposed to win, but you have to do some other stuff right as well. You have to have good pitching, obviously driving runs in, which there's no shortage of on this team as Jack Renwick takes a strike on 2-0. And if pitchers can really strut their stuff after maybe a shaky first 2 innings from Tommy Gross, maybe it'll turn out a lot better and they'll gain some confidence moving forward as Renwick now faces a 3-1.
Absolutely, and a couple guys in Gross and now Hines, who's pitching for the Stallions, who has finished out that 4th inning. We imagine he'll go in for the 3rd inning. We imagine he'll go in for the bottom of the 4th. Two guys who haven't pitched a whole lot this year, so good to see them get out there.
The 3-1 cut on and missed. The count is now full. Reminder, there are no outs. The Stallions have, I guess, brought on the first 4 onto the base paths and plated the first 2. Renwick, the 5th batter in the inning. The 3-2 cut on and missed in the dirt. No, it wasn't in the dirt, and Winslow caught it. So the first strikeout of the inning, and the first out of the inning, as Renwick is also retired for the first time tonight.
Dissonell has good stuff. There's no other way to put. There's a lot of good movement on his pitches. He has a solid arm. Stallions have seen him pretty well tonight, so they found success against him.
It's his 3rd strikeout of the night as Mackel watches a breaking ball outside 1-0. Mackel's last at bat, he drove in 2 runs on a single. And then wound up on 3rd base, I believe, after a stolen base and an error. But he is 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs thus far as he skies that one into shallow left center. Under it is the shortstop James Murphy, who makes a two-handed grab to retire Mackel for the second out of the inning.
Comes down to Nick Iverson. A good opportunity for Iverson, a guy who has struggled as of late, was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against Albany a couple nights ago. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but a chance to add to this advantage. And his second time seeing Disano.
Iverson and Marquez, the only two that have yet to reach base safely for the Stallions. As the first pitch is in the dirt, 1-0. Two on and two out, the 1-0. Iverson, does he go around? No, he does not. Count now 2-0.
Good discipline. And now you figure you're going to get something good to hit. A 2-0 pitch. If you like it, go for it.
Disano deals, and the fastball catches the outside corner. The 2-1. Breaking ball, Iverson turns on it, skies it into center field. Under it, no, not under it. And Corey Listing completely lost it. 2 runs will score. Iverson around second on his way to third is there in time. And a base clearing, I don't know if you can call it triple. I don't know if you can call it a hit.
Yeah.
It was a routine deep fly ball for Listing, who must have lost it in the lights.
He was lined up about 10 feet to the right of it from our vantage point. And I was watching that ball and was very confused why he was standing over there. But he clearly got seen off the bat. It is a triple for Nick Iverson to bring home a pair of runs.
First pitch to Jarrett Brown is cut on and missed, 0-1, and that's got to be good for Iverson's confidence too, as he was batting around 150 coming into this contest, as Disano misses inside, 1-1. The Stallions have now put up 4 in the inning and lead it 11-4. The 1-1 to Brown is in there. Good breaking ball from Disano. Now the count 1-2 with 2 outs as Iverson leads off at first. Disano from the stretch. He deals. Brown chops that one to short. Murphy on his way to Kersey in time to end the inning. Not before the Stallions strike for 4 more. And they lead it 11-4. We go to the home half of the fourth where Glens Falls will come to the plate here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Home half of the fourth as the Stallions lead it 11-4 here on the Stallions Broadcast Network, brought to you by iMedView Incorporated, independent medical review, world-class results, local connections. IXL Health and Fitness Club, keeping the Stallions fit all season long. J. Mullins & Sons Incorporated, masonry, excavation, building, and a whole lot more. Jim Howick Seamless Gutters, protect your home with Jim Howick, and Jolly Cow, the Jolly Cow in Lake Katrine, because everybody loves ice cream. Ryan Ash will come to the plate for the second time tonight as the 10 hitter. He is the third baseman. He doubled and scored a run. In the second inning. pitch administered to him by Hines is a ball. As Hines ready again, the 1-0 in there for a strike on the outside corner. Hines came in after 2 2 2/3, I believe, from Tommy Gross. As we'll have his final line in just a few moments. The count 2-1. Hines ready, delivers, cut on and missed, make it 2-2. And now Hines is maybe in a bit of a groove, delivering a lot quicker, and ready to get after it. The 2-2 to Ryan Ash upstairs. Marquez can't get a handle on it. It goes back to the fence. Nonetheless, it's 3-2. Well, the count is full. The Stallions lead at 11-4 after putting up 4 in the top half. The 3-2 got him. Strike 3 swinging. And Hines has faced 2 batters and struck out 2. Another Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout for the righty out of Rhinebeck.
The best we've seen Hines pitch so far this season, and it's great to see too, because he enters in a situation where it's a low-pressure opportunity for him to go out there and pitch. Your team is up by 7, hitting is no issue. Your job is to get out there and throw strikes, and he's done that. He came into the bases loaded, he got a strikeout, and starts off this 4th with the K as well.
In steps Corey Listing, who drove in Ryan Ash on a ground out to short in the 2nd inning. He is 0 for 1 and was hit by a pitch in the 1st on just the first pitch of the inning, first pitch of the outing from Tommy Gross. As now Listing looks at a 2-0 from Brendan Hines. The pitch is inside, 3-0. And this is Hines' first 3-0 count. We did mention he had previously administered 8 walks in 2 innings, as the 3-0 is in there for a strike. So it'll be interesting to see him battle back when he gets into those situations, to see if he can battle back.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to face some adversity. It happens, but he's going to work through it.
The 3-1, check swing on down to first. Berghammer fields, throw to Hines is in time. It was a bit high, but Hines stretched, stepped on the bag, and made the play for the 2nd out of the inning.
Noah Berghammer, we've been saying it throughout the broadcast, but his first ever game as a first baseman at any level of baseball, showed off his infield glove. He's a middle infielder by trade, makes a great backhand. His throw to first was a little bit high. He's not used to making that throw to a pitcher, but hey, gets the job done. A good cover by Hines.
We do have the line for Tommy Gross, 2 2/3, 3 hits, as McDaniel turns on one, hits one to left field, and that's up against the wall. McDaniel rounding first into second for a 2-out double, and Glens Falls has some life in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, nice hit with 2 outs. McDaniel gets a base. He's been a solid hitter for Glens Falls this year, but hey, no harm done just yet. Still a chance to get out of this inning unscathed.
Before we get to James Murphy, Tommy Gross's final line, once again, 2 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs all earned, 6 walks, and 3 Ks. Murphy's first pitch from Hines is upstairs, 1-0. Now Murphy's in a big spot, trying to at least get one back so they can crawl back down from a 7-run deficit in just the bottom of the 4th inning. There have been 15 runs scored already this game, and we still have a lot more baseball left to play, as Hines is ready on the 1-1. McDaniel dancing off of second. The pitch from Hines is cut on and missed, 1-2.
Again, getting it past the bat of Murphy. If you're a Stallions fan, you have to love the way that Hines has been pitching, a guy who hasn't seen a ton of action this year, recent addition to the squad, but He's done a very good job.
Fantastic concentration to not worry about McDaniel on second as well. The 1-2. Got him. Strike 3 swinging. Another strikeout. The third strikeout for Brendan Hines, as he is certainly fulfilling the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout spot tonight. He gets out of trouble, and the Stallions still lead it by 7. We go to the 5th here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the 5th, the Stallions lead it 11-4 right here on the Stallions Broadcast Network, brought to you by Lyman Institute of the Northeast. Climb to a successful career. Main Street Restaurant, voted best Mexican restaurants in Valley. Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strike sponsor for the Stallions. Mirabella Restaurant, perfect for friends and family tonight and every night. And Montano's Shoe Store. The best athletes wear the best from Montano's.
Now batting number 5.
John, I just heard a trivia question.
Okay, and I just heard the answer.
You just heard the answer.
I did hear the answer.
I wasn't exactly
But it was an
sure,
interesting question.
But we'll ask all of you as the first pitch is lowing away from Dissanel. Here's the question to everybody watching and or listening. The 1-0, once again outside. In 1912, a certain player in baseball let their dog run out on the field, not on purpose, by accident, and actually bit the umpire. As the 2-0 was in there for a strike.
So if the dog bit the umpire, are we really sure that it was an accident?
No, maybe it wasn't. But name that player. He's actually a pretty famous player, not because of what he did in the MLB though, or not, at least not because of his stats anyway.
Well, he was that way too. He's a Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah.
One of the best infielders ever.
Although I look at him more in a
Right.
different light. The 2-2 to Caden Kendall is hit on the ground, but foul down the first base line.
And I want to give a couple shout-outs.
Sure.
Shout out to everyone watching at the Stable Club. I know Damian Ferraro is watching out there. Kevin Hinchy's watching there. I'm sure a lot more people, so shout out to all of y'all, and a shout out to our bus driver, Peter, who's tuning in. The best in the business, as Kendall takes outside.
Peter's always so fun to have too on the bus.
Oh, he is a legend. We appreciate him. We appreciate him getting us to our destination safe and early. He is second to none.
The payoff pitch from Dissanel is hit between short and third, and in there for a base hit from Caden Kendall, his second base hit of the night, and his third at bat, and his third reached base.
Now batting
of the
number
night.
7, Jacob.
He's another guy who hitting below 200, but as this season has gone on, last couple of games, he's hitting the ball better. That's huge. As we get to this postseason, guys are going to be called upon, even if he's not a starter. Maybe he comes into a game as a pinch hitter, needs to get on base. He's seen the ball better, he's hitting the ball better, and quick in the base paths, as we're seeing right now.
The throw on down to second, and a Benson steal. The tally is now up to 9. They put stuff up you can't knock down times 9 as Caden Kendall swipes it back. I got the tally going up here in the corner of my book. We'll keep it going all night. Pitch to Marquez, catches the inside corner. Now it's 0-2.
This game of the utmost importance for the Stallions. They need to win 2 games out of this, including tonight, out of these next 4 games to clinch that 2 seed in a first-round bye.
Pitch inside to Marquez. Make it 1-2. And I saw you doing some math over there before.
Yeah, I was texting with some people, just running my numbers, making sure that I was right, that we're all squared away, and it is 2 games.
All right.
2 games, so.
I'm glad to hear it. The 1-2 as Marquez lifts it into shallow left field. Coming on is the left fielder, Michael Gorman, who makes the grab, calling off James Murphy to retire Marquez for the first out of the inning. Marquez now still the only batter
Number 55,
to not
David
reach base safely for the Stallions.
And he almost did. That was almost another situation where Glens Falls defense couldn't track the ball, but it was caught at the last second by Gorman.
That turns the order over for the 3rd time tonight as David Shackelford steps in and watches a breaking ball go by for strike 1. There is action in the bullpen for Glens Falls as it's Peter O'Toole from Dartmouth by way of Saratoga Springs, New York, stretching and tossing. Normally a middle infielder, just an infielder in general. And he's tossing in the bullpen as Shackelford watches that one in the dirt, and that gets away from Winslow. And on to third goes Caden Kendall.
Just Teddy base running, good dirt ball reads. Stallions team that has been so good in the bases all year long, and tonight's just a microcosm of that. This has been their best on the base pass on full display.
The 1-1 outside, 2-1, and you're 100% right. I mean, this is as aggressive as we've seen them up to this point in the season. I think they got the idea after Albany just wouldn't stop taking bags, or at least attempting to, as they lead the league with over 100. That pitch is low and away, 3-1 to Shackelford.
And we'll have to run the math on this, but the stolen base percentage, the successful stolen base percentage, has to be one of the best in the league, because this is a team that, yeah, they go often, but they're smart about it. They're not going to force it.
Shackelford grounds one foul down the third base line. And you're talking about Saugerties?
Saugerties.
Yes.
Saugerties, yeah.
Rarely do you ever see them get caught stealing.
Kendall got caught on a pickoff yesterday. That was the first time in a while.
As Shackelford turns over on one and hits it into left field for a base hit. In comes Kendall to score, and the Stallions lead it 12-4. It's an 8-run lead, inching ever so closer to that mercy rule threshold of 12 after 7.
And if this trend of offensive success continues, Michael, I think we'll get to the point where it's possible. The only question is, can the pitching be accurate enough to keep Glens Falls off the bases and off the scoreboard as the first pitch misses high? That's been the only downfall today of the Stallions. Gross struggled with his command. The good news is, though, Brandon Hines has come in and has pitched his best that he has all season.
The 1-0 to Berghammer in the dirt. Good eye by him to let it go and bounce in there for ball 2. Shackelford on base with his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a hit by pitch. He also has 2 RBIs and a stolen bag. The 2-0 as Berghammer pops one up and out of play. Actually bounced near the stairs on the first base side. And there you go, the herd of children. All the way to get it. They're like vultures. The 2-1 in the dirt, and Shackelford swipes another bag. It's a Benson steal. They put stuff up you can't knock down. Times 10.
And keep rolling. That's 10 through 4 1/3.
I'll have to double check my tally in just a moment, but I believe it's 10. Berghammer with a 3-1 as Dissanel steps off. The 3-1 in there on a breaking ball, 3-2. The count is now stretched to full. So you're doing some more math over there.
I am just trying to run some calculations, figure out all scenarios for the playoffs.
Berghammer gets out of the way, and well, he certainly perfected the bat flip on the walk as he trots on down to first, and out comes John Mueller to make a pitching change, and I believe it's going to be Peter Toole as Glens Falls will make a call to the bullpen, and we will step aside and be right back with more Stallions baseball on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Glens Falls makes a call to the bullpen as Josh Stevenson steps in with 2 on and 1 out in the top half of the 5th. The Stallions lead it 12-4, and it's Peter O'Toole out of the University of Dartmouth. Just 2 appearances on the mound this season, both of them throwing for 1 inning. As his first pitch to Stevenson is up high. Normally, Peter O'Toole is an infielder, plays in the middle infield most days, sometimes on third. But he's thrown in 2 games, both sort of like this, where Glens Falls were playing from behind, so to speak. Once against Mohawk Valley on the 17th of June, through 1 inning, only gave up 1 hit, struck out 2. And once against Amsterdam, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. So not bad on the numbers, as the 2-0 is taken. I guess Stevenson held back, make it 3-0. With 2 on and 1 out. The 3-0 pitch from Toole is grooved in there on a fastball. Make it 3-1.
Yeah, position players pitching. Typically not the most entertaining thing, because we might see a lot of walks. But When position players do pitch well, it's always an amusing thing. And let's see, something's being said. Stevenson steps out of the box. He's not sure. A little disenchanted by whatever he just heard from Mike Mooney.
Well, I believe third base coach Adam Cray is gesturing toward Peter O'Toole, and Mike Mooney waved it off and told Stevenson to get in the box, play some baseball.
Maybe pleading for a balk. Can't quite tell though.
Shackelford off second, Berghammer off first. The payoff. Did he go? No, he did not. And that's a walk. Stevenson doesn't know it yet.
It should be, right?
But
unless
it's a walk.
Unless the scoreboard was. Okay, maybe that was ball 3. Let's see. I think that was ball. Thought that was.
Okay, now it's 3-2, and O'Toole will step off and walk around a little bit. This I haven't seen before. Okay, so O'Toole back out on the mound. Shackelford off second, Berghammer off of first. The 3-2 is grounded back up the middle. McDaniel flips to Murphy on to first. Kersey makes the grab to end the inning. A 4-6-3 double play gets Peter O'Toole and the Glens Falls Dragons out of the inning as they lead the Stallions to just 1 run in the top half of the 5th. But they lead it 12-4 here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Back here on the Stallions Broadcast Network in the bottom of the 5th inning, Michael Gross, John Gross, and now joined by our sideline reporter, Shannon Bonowit.
Thank you, Michael. I don't know if you guys have noticed the big change in the lineup tonight for the Stallions, but Noah Berghammer is playing first base tonight for the Stallions for the first time this whole season. And I actually got the chance to talk to him before the game, and this is, in fact, the first time he's ever played first base ever in his baseball career. And he's doing a pretty good job over there for his first time ever, so we like to see that for the Stallions, and he's a very versatile player for the Ponies, so it's good to see.
Thank you, Shannon, and great job, as always, as Brendan Hines comes back out on the mound for another inning of relief work. And yeah, Noah Berghammer is on first.
What's on second?
I don't know who's on third. You got a pitcher?
I forget the rest
Tomorrow.
of it. Tomorrow.
And today's catching.
Ah.
All we got is a couple days on the team. 0-0 as it's Joe Kersey who swings and misses to start off the Dragons half of the 5th as he calls time and steps out. Always a favorite, Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
Not just who's on first, but I have many favorites from them. Did you know 7 times 13 is 28?
You know, I've seen that video. Are they doing it like the chalkboard, right?
Yeah. No, on the wall.
On the wall, on the wall.
1-1 to Kersey is fouled off and out of play down the right field line.
Costello, the pride of Patterson, New Jersey.
Yep.
There's a statue there for him.
I was introduced to them at a young age from both my parents, Alan and Jackie. Shout out to you guys for giving me the correct culture. As that one's chopped back up to the pitcher. Hines makes the snag, flips it over to Berghammer. What a play by Hines. Full extension to make the grab for the first out.
A lot of times, people don't always consider pitchers great athletes. Pitchers are really good athletes for many reasons, but one right there, Hines showing off the leaping ability. It's a great play that he made, and the presence of mind to make the trot over to first, make the throw a little bit easier. Gets the first out.
First pitch to Cole Durkin. Flipped. Oh, and that gets away. It was a tough play as it went off of Berghammer. Then Renwick tried to throw it to Hines, and it went behind him, but Marquez was there to cover, so Durkin did not get another base out of it, but it is scored as a base hit.
If they got that out, that would have been one of the coolest defensive plays I've ever seen. Hit Berghammer's glove after diving for it. Renwick got it in right field, made a spinning throw, nearly had it on the money, but the runner does reach.
That'll bring up Jared Neekum, who is 0 for 1, but reached on a fielder's choice and walked. Was stranded on third both times, so he has not come around to score. Now he faces an 0-1 with Cole Durkin leading off of first. Pitch from Hines is lined towards second. Renwick makes the grab on a jumping effort for the second out.
Nice play by Renwick, and the success of Hines continues. He keeps attacking the zone, going after these batters, clearly looks confident. Some of the other times that he came in, this is his third appearance of the season, he just seemed rattled, right? This is a guy coming straight from high school, now playing in a collegiate summer league, but now he seems to be calmed down. He's telling himself, I'm going out there, I'm competing with these guys, I'm doing a good job. And as a pitcher, half the battle's mental, if not more than that.
Before, he almost looked like he was just wearing a uniform, and now he kind of looks like he owns the uniform.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to put it. He just didn't seem fully confident in himself last couple of starts, or last couple of appearances, both coming out of the bullpen. But tonight has been locating his pitch as well, and has been a nice boost to the Stallions pitching staff.
Winslow at the plate. The 0-1 from Hines. Breaking ball misses upstairs, 1-1.
And there's no action in the bullpen, so you figure he'll go out there for another inning, which will be good for this Stallions team with a pretty shallow bullpen to begin with. You have 3 more games before an off day, maybe another off day later this week, pending a potential first-round bye.
The pitch outside, bad throw from Marquez, but Durkin swipes a bag. I believe that's the second stolen base tonight from Glens Falls. Not quite 10, but well, they're getting there. 2 outs, the 1-2 upstairs from Hines, evens the count at 2. Winslow is 1 for 1 with a walk. Does have an RBI. Was left stranded on second in both of his at-bats. The 2-2 from Hines. Low and away. Now the count is full. This would be a big batter for Hines to strike out to drive him to that next inning. The payoff pitch from Hines. Popped up on the right side in foul territory. Under it is the second baseman, Renwick, who makes the grab and ends the inning. 3 straight goose eggs on the board for Glens Falls in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings as Hines has come in to work 2 1/3 clean innings. In relief of Tommy Gross, the Stallions lead it 12-4. We go to the 6th inning here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. To the 6th inning we go as the Stallions lead the Glens Falls Dragons 12-4 on the Stallions Broadcast Network, brought to you by Nacarado Insurance. Over 50 years, 50 carriers, they've got you covered. PC Smith & Sons Hardware, Smith Hardware on Main Street. Got a project? They can help. Peak Trading, need it lifted up or tied down? Peak Trading has the supplies. And Praetorius and Conrad, civil and environmental engineering and land surveying. As it's Cade Verduzco who steps in for the 4th time tonight. He has reached in all 3 plate appearances, a single and 2 walks, has scored 2 runs, and does have an RBI, along with 2 stolen bases, John.
He's been a nice part of this lineup tonight, reaching base, like you said, all 3 times, active in the base paths, and again, just provided a good boost to this team with his time so far at Saugerties.
The 2-0 in the dirt, make it 3-0.
I don't think I've ever seen a more stiff, over-the-top delivery than Peter O'Toole. I'm actually like marveled by the fact that he could actually even reach the plate. He stands straight up, barely bends.
Verduzco lines that one toward right field. Tailing and coming on is the right fielder Durkin, but it drops in front of him. And Verduzco is 2 for 2 and has reached in all 4 plate appearances tonight.
Oh, that might not make Tony La Russa happy. A 3-0 pitch, he's swinging, gets a base knock, but he has now reached base in all 4 plate appearances.
And why not? It's summer ball.
Go for it.
Verduzco takes off, and Winslow doesn't even move a muscle. It's a Benson steal. They put stuff up. You can't knock down, times 11.
Yeah, I'm chalking that up as a... In our book, we'll score that as a stolen base.
I mean, I would.
It might be defensive indifference, no throw, but... I mean, listen, they're earning these bases, they're getting on base, they're moving around.
I believe the official scorer has it as a stolen base as well.
There we go, then. That's all that matters.
Thank you, Jim, for being such a great help here in Glens Falls.
Jim is the man, folks.
Renwick lines that one out to center. Under it is Listing. This time makes the catch as Verduzco tags on his way to third. The throw, not in time, gets away from Ryan Ash, but he slides to keep it in front of him. But Renwick did his job and moved the runner over 90 feet to third, and that brings up Colin Mackel, who has 3 RBIs on 2 hits tonight.
And that time Listing was able to see the ball.
Yeah.
Last time there was a fly ball to center, he was about 15 feet away from it. He was pretty confidently waiting for it to come to his glove, and it was nowhere near him when Iverson had a triple.
First offering to Mackel, he swings and fouls it back. 0-1.
The Stallions just 4 runs away from getting to that 12-run plateau. That's where the mercy rule comes into effect. It's 12 or more runs through 7.
1 out. Verduzco off of third. The 0-1 to Mackel. He cuts and misses as Winslow stares down Verduzco. Count now reads 0-2. The Stallions have scored a run in each of the first 5 innings. 3, 1, 3, 4, and 1. As it reads on the line score from the 1st to the 5th inning. The 0-2 to Mackel, grounded past the diving first baseman Joe Kersey, and they do it again. They score now in the 5th. Mackel's 3rd hit of the night, his 4th RBI of the night, and Mackel is having himself one heck of a day as the Stallions lead at 13-4.
Just building off of his performance at Amsterdam last night. Sometimes those big hits can give you the confidence you needed at the plate. Mackel had a 9th inning RBI double against the Mohawks to give the Stallions an insurance run, and he has picked up where he left off. Like you said, 4 RBI tonight and 3 hits.
Iverson swings at the first pitch and fouls it back, going 1. And John, if I could ask, would you be able to check the YouTube to see if anybody answered the question?
Yeah, I'll take a look. Let's see. We have no guesses, at least based on the YouTube here. I'll check on my phone. Let's see.
Reminder, the question was, in 1912, a player's dog ran on the field and bit the umpire. Who did the dog belong to?
Actually, I'm missing a bunch of comments. So here, let's see. We might have some guesses.
Let's read them off if you have them. 1 out. The 1-1 to Iverson. That's a strike as Winslow drops it 1-2. Any guesses?
No guesses. No guesses on your trivia question, but plenty of comments. And big thanks to everyone for being so involved in the comments section.
The 1-2, that gets by Winslow. I don't think it's going to be a stolen bag. I think they'll score it as a wild pitch. And they do. Mackel had a good jump, but if it was not going past the catcher Winslow, maybe it would have been a stolen bag. The 2-2 from Iverson is skied foul down the right field line, out of play. There go the kids. Oh, and John, there might have been 40 kids out there.
Oh, man.
Near the concessions. I looked to my right, and it looked like just a summer camp of kids just going after it.
Yeah, they're pretty excited to get the foul ball, and I know the hot dog, soda, and dollar promotion is a thing, but I think they're excited because they actually want the ball itself. They're not exchanging that for anything.
The 3-2 in the dirt, and Iverson draws a walk.
The Stallions continue to get base runners on. This is a game that, to me, changed in the bottom of the third. Tommy Gross did a great job in the bottom of the third to keep Glens Falls off the board. And from that point out, the Stallions pitching staff between Gross and now Brendan Hines has completely shut things down. You knew the Stallions offense was going to continue to hit, to continue to move guys around, continue to score runs. The question was, would the pitching staff help him out as well? And between Gross in his latter portions of his appearances, last couple innings, and Brendan Hines after him, that's been the case.
Hines thus far has put on a mastery of a relief outing. No runs in 2 1/3 as Brown pops up, shallow left center, under it the shortstop Murphy to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Brings up Caden Kendall, who has reached base all 3 plate appearances, including a single and a double. Michael, he's halfway to the cycle.
Yeah. I'm sure he'd like to take the triple from Iverson's book to give him 3/4 of the way, but he's going to have to earn it himself. The first pitch is upstairs.
He's fast enough for a triple. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
He's fast enough. He has pretty good power, too. If he gets split a gap, this is a pretty wide outfield, pretty big outfield. If he can split a gap, he could turn it into a triple.
As he hits one there, deep toward left field. Get up, get out, get funky. As now he's just a triple away. A 3-run home run from Caden Kendall gives the Stallions a 16-4 lead as they now lead it by 12 runs. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Caden Kendall. Why don't you?
We've been talking about the triple with Kendall. How about the home run? We forgot about that part of the cycle. So now he's 75% of the way there. He goes yard deep to left center field. And the Stallions are in line for a mercy rule victory. And with the win tonight, the Stallions will clinch at least one home game of the playoffs. And again, if they win tonight and win one more game out of the next 3 this rest of the season, they clinch that coveted first-round bye as a 2 seed.
Jacob Marquez steps in for his 4th plate appearance of the night. He is 0 for 3, the only man that has not reached base safely, as he takes outside 1-0 from Peter O'Toole. The 1-0, Marquez watches upstairs, 2-0.
Here's my question. This might be a question for our good friend here, Jim, who's the scorekeeper. If this game ends in a mercy rule, 7 innings, who would get the win as the pitcher? Because I know in 9 innings you need to, because Marquez takes a strike in 9. In full game, it's 5 innings, right? But in a 7-inning game, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tommy. I'm curious if that defaults back to the rules of like a doubleheader 7-inning game.
Marquez swings and misses, 2-1, make it 2-2. I think you have to give the win to Brendan Hines. I think you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tommy pitched 2 A third, two and two-thirds. As Marquez watches upstairs, the count now full.
But I don't think there's a minimum for 7 innings. I know for 9 it's 5. I don't know. Either way, pitching staff getting the job done. Bats as well.
The 3-2, Marquez cuts and misses. O'Toole got him for strike 3 to end the inning, as the Stallions put up 4 more, a 16-4 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th, right here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brendan Hines in once again as he's pitched very well for the Stallions as they lead it 16-4 on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Brought to you by Richards Electric. When the lights go out, call Richards. Rip Van Winkle Country Club, bring your swing to the Rip. Rip's Auto Parts, Pitcher Catcher Battery sponsor. Rip's your hometown auto parts store. And Saugerties Athletic Association, where having fun is what matters. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, excuse me. After the Stallions put up 4 in the top half, highlighted by a Caden Kendall home run to left center. And Hines' first pitch is in there for a strike. And John, I think Brendan Hines has really been the main story. Yes, the Stallions have put up 16 runs. As impressive as it is, Brendan Hines has pitched tremendously well.
I agree with you. That's been huge. Because again, at this point of the season, the question becomes, do you have enough pitching? And Hines is somebody who, if he can pitch like this, these next couple of games of the season, he might see a playoff appearance, and that'll be a massive boost to this bullpen.
That one's fouled off, and I think it was off the mask of the umpire, Mike Mooney.
You can never have too many arms, especially when you're making a playoff run. So if Hines can go out there and do this, if Tommy Gross can look like what he did in the 3rd inning, these are a couple other guys that Rich Doobie can go to late in this season to feel comfortable with.
The 1-2. Fouled back to the netting, and John, you had your hand prepared even though you were behind the glass here.
We were behind the netting, we're behind the glass, but I'm just getting my practice in. I'm just getting my reflexes going because if there was no netting, no glass, that's coming right to us.
Yeah, I love it. Shout out the Rob Vanderbeck in you. As he's always ready in the press box at Cantine. The 1-2 chopped towards short. Brown backhanded, throwing over to first. It bounces, and that gets away from Berghammer. It'll be a throwing error as Michael Gorman will reach and go to second to lead off the bottom of the 6th.
Not an easy throw for Brown to make. It was offline, took a bounce away from Berghammer. And it is Noah's first ever time playing first base, as Shannon mentioned, but there was nothing he could have done about that.
Big Richie Simprick up in the Stallions bullpen. Nobody up for Glens Falls, as I'm guessing O'Toole will come back in for the top of the 7th when we get there. Now with a runner off of second, Hines' pitch to Evan Keegan is in there for a strike on the inside corner.
And Michael, we did have a guess for the trivia question from David Whitaker, incorrectly guessing Ty Cobb's dog.
You know, that was also my first guess. Granted, it was my only guess until we got the answer. But good guess, not the right answer. I will give a hint if anybody is listening after this pitch. The 0-2 to Evan Keegan. Fastball swung on and drilled foul down the right field line. Played for the Pirates. Played for the Pirates. I can give another hint. Maybe toward the end of this half inning. Gorman leads off of second. Now he goes. The throw from Marquez. He got him in time as John Stewart punches him out. Great throw, a snap throw from Marquez. Gets Gorman. And no stolen bases on Jacob Marquez, although there are two, but he says no stolen bases on Jacob Marquez.
You know what he says? He says, as Rob Vanderbeck puts it, Benson steals are for Stallions only.
Benson steals are for Stallions only. The 1-2 from Hines misses up and in. Great throw from Jacob Marquez. Does have one heck of an arm.
He does. Can I give another hint for that
Sure.
trivia question?
Please do.
He's made a lot of other people besides himself a lot of money.
As Keegan turns on one and rips it foul.
Or I should rephrase that. He's made a few people a lot of money.
A few people.
Not a lot, a few.
A lot
but
of money, yeah.
when I say a lot, I mean a
lot
lot
of
of
money.
money.
Yep.
Yeah.
More famously known for this particular thing that he helps people make a lot of money for, as Keegan rips one right back where it came from, right up the middle for a base hit.
Credit to Keegan. He's 0 for 2, a pair of strikeouts. You're down by 12 runs. You could easily just stand in the box. You get behind a couple strikes on you early and just say, you know what, screw it. I'm calling it a night, but no. He stays on a pitch and lines it out to center.
That's just the third hit that Hines has given up. And the fourth base runner that Hines has led on board since coming in the third inning. As the first pitch to Ryan Ash is in there for a strike. Previously had walked 8 batters in his 2 innings of work, Brendan Hines, as that one is fouled away.
Has no walks tonight, which is the number you love to see from Brendan Hines.
Consistently throwing strikes, which Tommy Gross didn't do in the first, but definitely came around to do in the second and the third. Now the count 0-2 with 1 out and Evan Keegan leading off of first. The pitch from Hines misses upstairs. 1-2.
Michael, we have a winner.
Do we have a winner?
David Whitaker, correctly guessing.
Honus Wagner.
There we go.
Well done, David, well done. I'd like to do more trivia here. It's a lot of fun. The 1-2, just low.
His baseball card, as we've been alluding to, one in particular has been sold for millions. Do you know why that card is so valuable, though? That's a trivia question for you.
I can't say I do.
Okay.
Misses outside 3-2. Would you like to explain to us?
Back then, as we have now cards sold with gum, back then cards were sold in cigarette packs.
Oh.
Wagner was against cigarettes, and he wanted his cards to be removed from the packs that were sold in cigarettes, which meant that it was a very limited number of Honus Wagner cards that were sold in these cigarette packs.
The 3-2 turned on. Iverson fields on to second. That throw is over the head of Renwick and into right field. So Keegan will be safe. And on a fielder's choice, Ryan Ash will reach.
3 errors for the Stallions. Pretty sloppy game for their standards. You don't see this team commit many errors. Now Rich Doobie is going to make his way onto the mound. And as he does that, Richie Simprick heads out of the bullpen. So the day is done for Brendan Hines. A stellar outing and an encouraging sign for a young pitcher.
As Rich Doobie and the Stallions make a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. The second of the night, and we will be right back with Big Richie Simprick coming to the mound for the Stallions. Don't go anywhere on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Well, the Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen brings out Richie Simprick after Brendan Hines threw a stellar performance of 2 2/3 innings and just 3 hits.
Yeah, Simprick heads onto the mound, put up good stuff this season. 4-1 record, a 4.19 ERA, and 19 1/3.
Nothing and nothing is low from Simprick.
Has 19 strikeouts to 7 walks. Last appearance got hit around a bit. He had 4 hits, 3 earned runs, an inning at third against Albany.
It was 9 days ago as well, as Corey Listing lifts that one toward third, and nobody is there. Iverson lost it. Simprick was actually over to try and make the play. It did hit Simprick's glove, but nothing doing.
Michael, I think this is the toughest stadium to play in at night because these lights are pretty difficult. You see more than almost any stadium, at least in the East Division, guys lose track of balls in the lights.
And these are also some of the brightest lights, too. Yeah. 1-1, fouled back to the screen. Make it 1-2. With Corey Listing at the plate. Keegan leads off of second. Ryan Ash off of first. With 1 out, the 1-2 from Simprick. Low and away. Good stop there from Marquez on a back. The Stallions lead it 16-4. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Simprick's pitch is chopped toward the right side. Berghammer flips. Simprick does not step on the bag in time. It was out there in no man's land between first and the mound. Always a tricky play, but I think they'll score it a base hit.
Yeah, an infield single. Just good hustle down the line by Corey Listing, but this is important for the Stallions. They're up by 12 runs, that's the cutoff for the Mercy Rule. It's 12 runs or more. You have 1 out in this inning. Quinn McDaniel up at bat, who's reached base twice, hit a double his last at bat. If you're going to come away with the Mercy Rule victory, getting out of this inning without allowing any runs will be huge.
Nothing and nothing from Simprick as it's chopped toward the left side. Brown, throw on to third is in time, but the run will come across to score. It's Evan Keegan. They do get Ryan Ash on the force out at third on the play from Brown to Iverson, and now there are 2 outs. But it's an 11-run lead, so the Stallions will have to put on one more in the top half of the 7th.
And if the first 6 innings are any indication of what's to come in the 7th, that shouldn't be a problem. The Stallions have scored at least 1 run in all 6 innings so far.
John, I was wrong. I said there was 1. Now said there was 2. Now there's 1, but outs, and well, the hit into the left field. The throw on home is not in time as another run comes across to score. It's Corey Listing, and Quinn McDaniel has himself an RBI double.
Yeah, just base knock, moving guys around, and yeah, there are 2 outs.
There are 2 outs.
Yep,
yes.
there was a caught stealing, and then just the ground out by McDaniel, and the fielder's choice by McDaniel. So Murphy now stands on second, and that brings up Joe Kersey.
Simprick's first pitch to Joe Kersey is low and away, 1-0.
Now the Stallions need a couple runs in the 7th.
A 10-run ball game. The 1-0 from Simprick is cut on and missed in the dirt, 1-1.
And even if the game does end in 7, it'll be about the same length as a normal 9-inning game. We are past the 2.5-hour mark between the Stallions and the Dragons.
John, when there's 22 runs scored on 25 hits, that'll happen. That pitch is cut on and missed. Almost gets away from Marquez, but the count will be 1-2.
And a lot of free 90s for both teams.
Yep. Most of them came in the first couple of innings. Pitchers on both sides have been a lot better since those first couple innings. As Kersey lifts one out to center field. Under it is Shackelford to make the catch and end the inning. Well, Glens Falls puts on 2 more, and it puts the pressure on Saugerties to score 2 in the top of the 7th if they want to go back to that mercy rule threshold. The Stallions lead at 16-4 from East Field in Glens Falls, New York, on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
As we enter the top of the 7th, the Stallions lead 16-6. And a pitching change for the Dragons, another position player, as the infielder Kyle Whitaker heads onto the mound, making his 3rd appearance of the season. Has pitched 1 inning as a strikeout, not giving up any runs, and just 1 hit allowed. 16-6 Saugerties. Top 7, the Stallions need a couple runs to invoke the mercy rule. In the first pitch hits David Shackelford in the side, so he'll take off his protection, head off to first. And another Delvecchia Kraft injury turn. He's hit by pitch as Chase Pickles gets the bat out of the way. His first game on the road with the Stallions, and he's seen a pretty fun one. If you're a Stallions fan. 16 runs. The Stallions have scored at least 1 run in all 6 innings so far. Brings up Noah Berghammer, who is 1 for 3. He watches low from Whitaker, 1-0. The Stallions need 2 runs to bring us back to Mercy Rule territory. It's 12 or more through 7. As the runner takes off, it's a low pitch, no throw down. And that puts Shackelford into scoring position. Game with a lot of the line, despite being a pretty lopsided affair. The Stallions have a decent amount weighing on this one. We'll get to that in a second. 2-0 pitch, inside outed on the ground, first base side, scooped up by Kersey. He'll tap the bag for the first out. That does allow Shackelford to head off to third. But with a win tonight, the Stallions will clinch at least 1 home game. They've already secured a spot in the playoffs. That was about a week or so ago. With the win, they will guarantee a top 4 spot, which means that they will host a playoff game to start off the playoffs. If they win tonight and 1 other game the rest of the way, they have 3 more games. They need 2 wins, including tonight. They clinch a first-round bye and a home game for the semifinals. Would be the first home game in Stallions history, playoff history, as Josh Stevenson lines it back foul. He's behind 0-1. 16-6 Saugerties, 1 away, top 7. Shackelford now on third after the ground out by Berghammer. Stevenson is 2 for 4 tonight. Pops it again, foul, third base side, out of play.
By the way, John, they gave Shackelford a stolen base.
There you go.
So
We're up to what, 12?
I believe it's 12 now.
12. Here's the 0-2 on Stevenson. Softly popped away. Count stays 0-2. And we talked about this with Adam Cray earlier on Sunday with the Stallions. A home playoff game at Cantine would be unbelievable, as Stevenson is fanned by a high fastball off out of the hands of Kyle Whitaker for the second out.
Now batting number 22, Cade Verduzco.
Brings up Cade Verduzco. He has reached base at all 4 plate appearances. 2 for 2 with an RBI. Also has a pair of walks. First offering. This is inside, 1-0. He can't be throwing any harder than 75 right now.
I was going to say 70 flat.
So it might be just 70. 1-0, high and in, 2-0.
I think you're right. Maybe it could be 75.
This is looking like Kevin Hinchy tossing batting practice to these guys. Kevin has to be the only owner in the PGCBL that throws BP, as this one is grounded towards the shortstop, takes an awkward hop, gets around Murphy. The run will score. 17-6 Stallions. And now a runaway from being back up by 12.
Now batting
Scored at a base hit.
Jack Renwick.
Took a bad hop. But now the Stallions have scored 17 runs on 17 hits.
Efficient offense, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
So with Verduzco now on first, Jack Renwick comes to the plate. We can presume that Verduzco is going to make his way towards second. And there he goes. Pitches outside for a ball. Throw it on to second is not in time. Another successful stolen base. That is 13. And the Stallions, every single time they've had a runner on first base, they have gone for a steal and they've been successful.
Cade Verduzco himself has 4 of the 13.
Renwick hits this towards third. It's into left field. Being waved around third is Verduzco. He'll come to the plate. And the Stallions have hit the 12-run mark once again. It is 18-6 Saugerties. And they are 3 outs away from a Mercy Rule victory.
Well, John, it's weird to be saying this, but up by 12, I think they need some Hell's Mortal insurance runs.
That's one way to put it.
Insurance for the Mercy, at least.
There goes Renwick off to second. Pitch just spiked into the foot of the pitcher, or the throw on to second just spiked into the foot of the pitcher, Whitaker. Another successful stolen base as the Stallions continue to attack in the base paths.
That's 14.
And I'll say it, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I've been around this team long enough to know that this is a franchise record.
This has to be a franchise record. And I don't know any team that has stolen 14 bases in one game. It's got to be some sort of record, right?
Colin Mackel takes ball to it. It has to be. Absolutely has to be. 2-0 pitch to Mackel. Pop back foul, 2-1. 18-6 Stallions lead. A win tonight would guarantee a home playoff game for Saugerties. A win tonight and another win down the stretch would give them, as Mack will swing to the 2-1, a first-round bye and a home semifinal playoff game. 2-2 count, 2 outs, a runner on second. The pitch home to Mackle, breaks down and is blocked in front of Winslow. He's going to throw off to third, and it is not in time as Renwick is there safely.
John,
Is that a stolen? I don't know. Is that a stolen base? No, not a stolen base.
no, not a stolen base.
Yep. And fouled back.
I do have the answer for most stolen bases in a game by one team.
In any sport or in the PGCBL?
Not in the PGCBL.
Okay, Mackle on the ground towards first. It is fielded off a couple hot hops by Kersey. He'll tap the bag, and we head to the bottom of the 7th. The Stallions score 2 more runs. We'll give you the stolen base record in baseball. After this, 2 runs coming across for Saugerties on a pair of hits. As we get to the bottom of the 7th, Stallions 3 outs away from victory in the Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 7th, Stallions Baseball is brought to you by Sawyer Chevrolet and Sawyer Motors. Stella Artois, distributed by Duchess Beer Distributors. Grab an ice cold Stella at the Stallions Watering Trough. Steyer's, celebrating over 50 years of keeping you on the road. Suncommon, a solar company with a purpose beyond profit. The computer guys don't get robbed by the other guys. Call the computer guys. The Emerson Resort, treat yourself to a getaway at the Emerson. Ulster Federal Credit Union, get roared with Ulster Federal Credit Union. And Ulster Savings, celebrating 170 years with 170 acts of kindness. 18-6 Stallions, Richie Simprick on to close things out. The Stallions 3 outs away from a mercy rule win over Glens Falls. Cole Durkin leads off. First pitch he sees, popped in the infield. It's towards second base. Brown and Renwick converge. Renwick wins that battle. He makes the catch. 1 away.
Would you like to know the answer?
Yeah.
In 1890, it was
Okay.
Double-A baseball, Philadelphia versus Syracuse. I couldn't tell you the team names, even if you paid me $1 million. 19 stolen bags on April the 22nd in 1890.
There you have it.
This is on Baseball Almanac.
Jared Neekum takes a strike in the outside corner from Simprick. So I'm guessing that's at the professional ranks, the all-time record.
Yes.
Okay. So 0-1 on Neekum, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Simprick comes through the windup, a high chopper up the middle. Renwick on a backhand. He'll fling it at first. Berghammer the extension in time. A nice stretch by Noah Berghammer in his first ever game at first base. For the second out, the Stallions are 1 out away from a mercy rule victory.
It is important to note that Glens Falls has not been mercy ruled at home this season.
Michael, I want to give a quick shout out. My dad just commented something. Every time that my dad has commented something, the Stallions have proceeded to then blow the lead. If that happens again tonight, I'm banning my dad from ever watching a Stallions game as Nick Winslow watches a strike. Just have to put that out there. Everyone can blame my dad if Glens Falls comes back to win.
Throw him under the bus, why don't you?
0-1, down and outside. Did he go? No. Count now 1-1 with 2 outs. The Stallions scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth, and 2 more in the seventh. Glens Falls put up 3 in the first and 1 in the second. Scoreless since then, as the 1-1 is fanned on 1-2, and this is it. A 1-2 count with 2 outs. The Stallions knocking to the door of a home playoff game for the first time in franchise history. The 1-2 with 2 outs from Simprick. The righty kicks and deals, down and outside, blocked by Marquez. 2-2.
You have to give credit where credit is due. The pitching staff today really stepped it up.
Simprick trying to close out this performance. The 2-2 misses low. Full count. 18-6 Stallions lead, bottom 7. An out away and a strike away from a mercy rule victory. It's a full count with 2 outs. Richie Simprick kicks and delivers. Slapped on the ground in between short and third. A base hit will keep this game going. And my dad might be sweating a bit now. Getting a little nervous.
Now batting number 27, Michael Gorman.
Nick Winslow's now 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 singles, and an RBI.
I also want to give a shout out to Mark Gross, who I would imagine is related to Tommy Gross.
Yeah.
And he's actually watching, he's at the game right now, but he is tuned in. So shout out to Mr. Gross. I'd love to meet up afterwards if you're around. Michael Gorman is 0 for 1, but he has reached base at all 3 plate appearances. 2 walks and then reached on an error. First pitch from Simprick into the knees, 0-1. 18-6 Stallions with 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th, and out away from a mercy rule win. They take on Glens Falls 2 days from now as well. The 0-1 from Simprick on the ground toward short. Fielded by Brown. He goes to Renwick, hauls it in, and the Stallions win. 18-6 the final, and playoff baseball is coming to Cantine Field in Saugerties, New York, folks. For the first time in franchise history, the Stallions will host a playoff game. The date and the opponent still to be determined. With the win tonight, they guarantee that home playoff game with one more win, either tomorrow, the next day, or after an off day later in this week. The Stallions will get a first-round bye. Tonight, though, a complete performance, a lopsided victory. Your thoughts on tonight's win, Michael?
All around, after the first 2 innings, if you take away those first 2 innings, just in general, a very good performance from the Stallions, only giving up 2 runs in the final 5 frames. Brendan Hines came on through an exceptional relief outing. Richie Simprick did the same. And the Stallions put up 18 runs on 18 hits. Couple of errors in the field, but it was obviously made up for by no lack of hitting and no lack of run scoring. They stole, 14 bases tonight, as aggressive as they've ever been on the base pass, thanks to Coach Adam Cray and many others. And John, after yesterday's win in Amsterdam, and now tonight's win in Glens Falls, the Stallions have to be feeling very good about themselves.
Absolutely. Saugerties moves to 26-11 of the season, winners of 2 in a row, and again, clinch a home playoff game for the first time in franchise history. 3 more regular season games, 2 on the road, then 1 final regular season home game on the 29th. The Stallions just need to win 1 more of that. They can forget about what Jamestown does the rest of the way. If the Stallions can take care of business, they are locked in to that all-important 2 seed, get a first-round bye, skip all the way to the semifinals, and host a playoff game. That'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Thanks to all of you for joining us. For our sideline reporter, Shannon Bonowit, my broadcast partner, Michael Gross. I'm John Gross signing off after a big Stallions win, 18-6 the final. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night in Oneonta, New York. This has been Saugerties Stallions Baseball, live on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
Roll Ponies.
Roll Ponies is right.